let's talk about it. Very important topic. You've been eating 1600 calories for months and years, and you feel frustrated because you still don't look like you want, still can't achieve any change in your body composition, in your physique. You don't even look like you train. You try to eat well, but nothing is happening. So let's talk about it, because I've been working with many women, and recently many new women joined my team, and I heard number 1600 calories way too often. And I was like, what is going on? Because I thought this phase of eating like a bird is over. Felt like women finally start to eat and fill themselves properly. But it's still a thing that women just starving themselves. They're scared. They eat like a toddler. And look, I know I've been there. I used to do that as well. I was dieting from my 12 years old. I was under eating for half of my life. I had very bad relationship with food, even with myself and my body. I understand what it is, how it feels. I know the mindset behind why you are actually afraid of eating a little bit more. But we have to just make things clear and just talk about why you actually can't see any change in your physique, what is actually happening, and why you should maybe start looking at things from different perspectives and try something different. Because obviously you have two options. You can either eat less and less and less or you can start eating like a normal grown woman who is active, because for most active women on the average can be maintenance calories around 2000 calories. Can be different for everyone. If you are 5 feet tall, maybe it can be actually way less, but on the average, if you're active, the calories are way higher than most women eat. And it's actually, it's proven by studies that almost 0.5% of female athletes, but let's not talk just about athletes. I believe every woman who participates in exercise regularly, any exercise, is basically a female athlete. So almost half of these women just not eating enough. I understand if we want to lose fat, change the composition, obviously we all know that we need to be in calorie deficit. But what is actually going on if you've been eating 1600 calories or something like that? You're just trying to diet for months and years and nothing is happening, because there's obviously something wrong. First option is going to be probably some error with your estimation. Whether you're tracking your food or not, you might actually eat way more than you think. If you're tracking your food, you might be doing some mistakes in terms of weighing everything or not tracking everything, or just estimate weights. Or you might, for example, track things that are cooked and you track them when they are raw, or opposite. Common mistakes that people do with tracking. Or if you are not tracking, it usually comes down to actual portions, because we just eat way more than we think. So this is first reason why you are not losing weight if you are eating in calorie deficit. Way more common, especially with my ladies in my team that I'm working with, is, and I really have this conversation recently quite a lot, basically with every single my client that started recently, and they are actually scared to eat more. What is actually happening when you eating low calorie diet for a prolonged period of time? Your body is just starting to adapt, and we are females. We have to take care of ourselves, and things like intermittent fasting, carb diet. Yes, I know women who actually live like this. It works for them, but probably not for every woman, especially for women who struggling with these kind of things, who not feeling themselves properly, not having enough nutrients, and just kind of are in this like a all or nothing mindset. They still trying to chase some goals, but thing is happening. They absolutely not considering their health and their well-being. When it comes to 1600 calories, why is this a number? Like some people like feel, honestly, I'm telling you, this is like some trend, 1600 calories seems to be magical number. It's not. Your calorie deficit will be different to everyone. Even if you would have same person of same age, same weight, same height, same activity, you might still have different calorie needs, because another difference can be your lean tissue, because more muscle you have, more calories your body needs to, move your body around, just burns more calories at rest. This is why we really want to prioritize strength training, resistance training, building muscle, because that's what you actually want. You want that tone, strong, feminine physique. And instead of still focusing on fat loss, you should really switch that focus from that and start eating normally and focus on building muscle. And I know it can be uncomfortable. Like I've heard that, and I have this conversation all the time. But I'm just scared. I'm gonna I'm gonna gain weight. I don't want to gain weight. I'm afraid I'm gonna look bulky. Look, eating more to build muscle doesn't mean necessarily that you need to eat extra extra calories in surplus, especially if you are under eating for a long time. You just need to start eating normal. Your maintenance calories, which as I said at the start, it can be around 2000 calories for average active woman. Yeah, again, it will be different for everyone, but kind of like a baseline for active woman would be 2000 calories. And maintenance calories means that you're maintaining your weight. So there is nothing wrong about it. There is nothing to be afraid of to start eating at least a little bit more. So this is the first reason. Everybody is different. Everybody has different needs. It's based on your age, height, weight, your activity level, and your body composition. How much lean muscle you actually have. Women trying to get toned, but they eating very little because they want to lose fat most of the time. And actually, I would say all of my clients are in this state that they are not overweight, they are not fat. They might have some body fat to lose, but they are not overweight. What they actually need, they need to build muscle. And if you're eating consistently for months and years, 1600 calories or just very low calorie diet, that's no surprise that you can't change your body composition. Bring the calories towards your maintenance calories, and trust me, the miracle will happen. Your performance in the gym will absolutely skyrocket, especially if you start implementing proper pre and post-workout meal. You will have more energy, no tiredness, energy crashes during the day. You're not gonna feel like shit. You are going to have better mood. You're not gonna be so irritable all the time. Sleep will improve as well. Your hormones will get back to kind of regularity as well, which obviously after affects everything, whether it's your menstrual cycle, whether it's your metabolism, thyroid, whether it's your gut health, whether it's your sleep. As I said, everything is regulated by hormones. All of that, when you start eating a little bit more, you will find yourself in a little bit better place, more comfortable. Everything will feel easier and better. You will start, feel the progress. Actually, the stress levels will drop, and it also has a huge effect on your well-being and your progress, your fat loss and everything. So what you should do if you've been eating this low calorie diet for a very long time and nothing is happening. I had now a few girls coming on board, and we just started to bring them calories back into maintenance. As I said, I make them eat a little bit more and consistently throughout the day. Half of the girls, they come to me and their breakfast is black coffee and they don't eat anything until lunch. And it's nothing surprising that most of them are struggling with binge eating in the afternoon, because they've been starving themselves first half of the day because they don't feel hungry, and then when the time comes they just are absolutely going wild because also they feel like, oh, I didn't eat anything whole day, so now I'm gonna compensate, and it's for another discussion. But in general, you need to start eating more calories consistently throughout the day. Starting with breakfast, whether you like it or not, eating breakfast is something that will set you for the day. Especially if you're struggling with tiredness, if you train in the afternoon or in the morning, if you're struggling with any hormonal issues, you just need to start giving your body normal nutrients as you start, because you've been fasting 8 hours at least during your sleep, and then you, for example, don't eat another 8 hours, which is just a lot. And I know intermittent fasting has its benefits, we all know that, but we have to really look at where we are individually. Don't do any experiments, maybe try to go back to normal. I'm just someone who supports eating regularly throughout the day. I obviously understand that someone really benefits from intermittent fasting, but recently, again, coming back to my clients specifically, they get their blood work done, and actually some of them did recently, and I'm able to go through that. All of them, specifically these girls who didn't eat consistently, they struggling with low calorie diet, they just been eating so little, no change in their physique, struggling, some of them with menstrual cycle. When I looked at their blood work, there was something similar to most of them, and it was underperforming thyroid. Their thyroid just slowed down. Thyroid is a gland that produces hormones. It basically regulates everything in your body, your metabolism, your body temperature, how much calories you use, burn. It's basically the main one who controls your bodily functions and regulates the hormones. Like, are they gonna produce more or less of that? I had the blood work in front of me, had the same issue, low thyroid, which is related to undereating as well. If you don't have enough calories, your body just adapts, your body's slowing down, your body shuts down the menstrual cycle, ovulation, all these kind of things. And that's why we really want to start eating normally. We have to understand that dieting is something we have to do strategically for multiple weeks. But if you really, again, been eating for multiple weeks and nothing is happening, you need to really be honest with yourself. And especially if you're struggling with any kind of symptoms, whether it's menstrual cycle related, related, whether it's your digestion and gut health related, whether it's to your cognitive, mental side of it, you really need to start looking at whole well-being as you are, not just what is your weight. Because at the end of the day, your weight is absolutely non-relevant even to how you want to look like. If you want to build muscle, you eventually will start gain weight as well, because muscle is actual tissue. It weighs a little bit more than actual fat. At the end of the day, who cares how much you weigh? There is so many things you can track. And to be fair, this is actually quite serious. For us females, we really need to take care of ourselves because we've been just messed up by diet culture. And I see that over and over again. As I said recently, I was actually surprised that we still doing this. I need to have serious conversation with the girls and really explain, look, if this is the thing, if you're struggling, if you want to achieve these goals, you need to start eating a little bit more. And by eating more, obviously, like, I don't mean that you can like eat anything. Obviously, we want to still prioritize well-balanced diet, nutrients-dense diet, and have a flexibility. Because if we have some kind of eating issues, emotional eating, disordered eating habits, anything like that, we have to be honest with ourselves, like what is actually going on. Because if you purposely undereating and then you end up binging, overeating, you have issue. Like, you need to find the balance, but really focusing on good diet over time, 80% of time, to really prioritize like food for health, well-being, and performance, and the 20% of time in moderation, enjoy whatever you like. As soon as you start actually eating a little bit more, allowing yourself to eating things that you're trying to avoid, you start to be more comfortable around food. It won't make you feel frustrated, anxious. You will less likely binge, overeat, because then it just become food. It's a little bit more away from the topic. It's more about like really creating that positive relationship to yourself, but at the same time it's actually related to topic, because most of the girls who undereating do it actually consciously. There's the other thing, like fear of building way too much muscle. Look, I've been training for so many years and I'm just trying to build muscle and get like really strong, and I'm still not looking as I want, you know, like it's really way harder than fat loss. And again, if you're eating so little calories, 1600 calories, if you just way below your maintenance, you won't build any muscle, especially if you've been training for some while. And if you have someone who is, for example, a little bit overweight or a little bit higher percentage of body fat, never done anything, they start to go to the gym and just like eating maybe even in calorie deficit, they might a little bit build some muscle, like the body composition might change because they are complete beginners and their body will respond way better than to someone who is actually been doing this for a long time. So takeaway, if you've been training, if you're resistant training, strength training, if you're trying to build muscle, get that nice, strong, feminine physique, get into shape of your life, and you're eating low calorie diet, you need to start do these things. Bring your calories at least to maintenance, start eating a little bit more. Bring your calories to maintenance, start eating a little bit more. Focus on macronutrients. So you want to eat at least 2 grams of protein per 1 kilo of body weight, around 1 gram of fat per 1 kilo of body weight. For us females, it's better to have around this range for health and well-being, hormone production, etc. And the rest can be your carb. Focus on nutrient-dense diet most of the time, and then obviously have flexibility. Enjoy what you like. Learn and understand word moderations. Start work on your self-awareness. How you feeling around your food? Why you undereating? What is the issue? Are you scared? What are you scared of? Really, if you match your nutrient demands with the training intensity, you will start finally seeing great changes in your physique, and I promise that. If you have any questions, please drop them below. I love to talk to you about all the topics, fitness, nutrition, and I talk to you in the next one.